Good morning everyone. So today I'm going to the Cherry Blossom Festival with a couple of my friends. I woke up this morning and I feel a little bit bloated, but I'm only 55 kilos so I shouldn't be, but I am, so not sure what that is. I think the only difference is having this protein powder, so maybe it's making me bloated, I don't know. I had two shakes yesterday. I think I had like a total of 109 grams of protein, which is way too much for me. But it was just easy. So what I'm going to try today is to put a scoop of it on my normal breakfast. And also, tip for those who to go outside and do things like go to blossom festivals, take snacks with you because, I mean, there's no other way that you're going to be able to eat. So I'm going to take those with me. And there's one thing I don't like about this protein powder, and that is that the packet is just so tight that your hands get dirty when you try to take it out. Anyway, this is what I'm doing. I've got a nice, this is a really nice soft pear. So that means it's going to be really low in salicylates and hopefully reaction free. I've peeled the skin because the skin is high in salicylates. Yes, I know it's good for you, but it's high in salicylates. So I've put the protein powder on top there. I'm just going to shake this up. To try to mix it in. I'm hoping that this pear is going to be nice and soft enough to counter for all of that, because I can't have any milks. I'm not sure about that flavor. Like, it's a bit too powdery, a bit too much. I probably maybe should have gone half a scoop. It's like just grabbing a definitely need to mix it up in a liquid. It is probably the worst thing I've eaten in a long time. That actually is making me gag. I couldn't finish it. I ate the cashews and the pear out of it and just chucked the rest because I need to like eat something else to get that flavor out of my mouth because that's just terrible. Okay, I'm not doing that again. So that is the social activities done for the day. It's 7:18 p.m. and I basically need to do my meal prep now. It's probably going to take me 3 hours, which is not ideal, but yeah, I've basically got all that stuff which you saw me buy on Vegan this week. So cannellini beans for lunch and chickpeas for dinner. In fact, I might do half the amount of chickpeas I normally would do. So I'll get 3 cans of chickpeas. There's about 250 grams in each. Actually, maybe 2 will be enough. And I might try and swap out some of the chickpeas for protein powder somehow. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that, but maybe have half a scoop with dinner or something. Yeah, so basically I try and do it as efficiently as possible. I have 2 pans which I cook on simultaneously. I do the chickpeas and beans first, put them in one of these bowls, and then I work on the beans, which there is a lot of them. I have about 500 grams a day, so 2.5 kilos of beans, Brussels sprouts, choco, and I go in the fridge and get the cabbage. I have to chop all of this up, which takes time, which is why when I was doing a non-vegan diet, I would just do the chicken and the beans only. It didn't give me a lot of variety, but it was quicker. So yeah, and then after I do all the lunches and dinners, I then move on and do breakfast and snacks. So it's a lot of stuff, but I need to do it, otherwise I don't eat. So I thought I would do a kind of go through how I cook my chickpeas. So I heat up some oil in the pans, get my chickpeas, which I have washed, and I basically cook them on high until they start popping out of the pan. And if you have one of those things which you can kind of cover it with so they don't pop out, it's better because you can get them nice and crunchy if you can kind of leave it on high. I used to put a paper towel on it, but it removes some of the oil, which I kind of want to keep in there to keep the flavour. So I cook them on high until they start popping out, and then I reduce them to low, and if they are popping, I do put the lid on. Yeah, basically that's how I do it, and then cover in salt. Now, if you can tolerate garlic, you can do garlic in the pan there as well, but I find that if I have garlic for like 2 or 3 days in a row, that I start reacting, so I don't put garlic in these in case I'm eating them on multiple days in a row. And so while these are cooking a bit, I'll start chopping up stuff and sorting out the cannellini beans. The cannellini beans don't really need as much cooking for some reason. And they are just canned ones, so they're probably already nice and fine. But yeah, I mean, this is very quickly turning into a cooking channel, but for people with EOE, cooking is a massive part of it. So for choco, they're a bit of a weird kind of fruit, I guess, vegetable, whatever it is. This is the way that I cook it. I chop the ends off and try and make this flat so that I don't hurt myself trying to peel the rest of it. And I basically go through and cut the skin off, because trying to use a peeler is a bit hard because the skin is so uneven. With this, you'll also find that it has like some sort of a film on it, which will make your hands go dry.
So just be aware of that. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. You just gotta it's kind of weird, filmy stuff. So I peel it and then I wash it and then chop it up, and then I would chuck it in the pan with some oil and some water, and I basically steam it in the fry pan until it's nice and soft, and then try and reduce the water out of it, and then just add salt pretty much. Not really much else you can do to it, but that's how I do it. And if you've never had choco before, it's a pretty bland tasting vegetable fruit thing, so it's a nice one. So I'm just going to wash this. I can smell these burning over here. I'm going to reduce that to low. Becomes a real juggling game. Now it's got a seed in the middle, which is kind of weird and annoying. See there. So I tend to try and just cut around it and get rid of it out of this piece. And then just dice the rest of it. Once the chickpeas are done, I'll put them in one of these bowls and then put the cannellini beans in there for a little bit just to soften up, and yeah, and then the green beans. So for the green beans, you probably would think, oh, green beans, gross, you know, whatever. But the way I make them is actually really tasty. And in order to keep to this diet, it's the only way I've actually been able to keep to this diet. Using a lot of oil and just basically the cooking technique to get it tasting good, and salt. Of course, salt really helps. Also, the other thing, instead of oil, what you can do is cook, if you're eating chicken, cook the chicken or any other kind of meat in the pan first and leave the juices in there, and cook the beans in the juices, and it actually makes it taste so much better than just steamed green beans, which no one really likes. So, and when we have EOE, we have to cook them really well. We can't have them crunchy, so otherwise it's high in salicylates. He's saying that a lot, I think. So what I do is I chuck them in a pan. These are frozen beans. Of course, if you have fresh ones, it's going to be a little bit different. But I chuck them in a pan on high until they defrost with the lid on. And then basically once they've defrosted, I stir them around a bit. I had put some rice bran oil in there, and once they're defrosted, I turn it down to medium heat and just cook it the rest of the way until I'm happy that it's cooked well enough that I won't react, basically. And that's it. Simple, easy, delicious green beans. Once it's done, then actually I put some salt in there as well. When I'm cooking it on medium, put some salt in there as much as you need to eat it, I suppose. Yeah, that's that. Instead of just traditionally steaming them, I find it tastes so much better, and even my family have commented on the fact that it just tastes so much different, so much better than just plain steaming them. So yeah, but if you like steamed green beans and you can eat that every day for every meal, go for that. So that's another meal prep completed. So all my breakfasts, these are my snacks. Obviously in the morning I will cut up a pear and put it into here and eat it. Dinner, lunch, and here's tonight's dinner with all the leftovers. And I forgot to mention that I will freeze half of this, and so I'll freeze 3 and leave 2 out. Otherwise the amine count will be too high if I leave them in the fridge for more than like 1 or 2 days. So yeah, freezing is the best option for those with amine intolerances, especially when you've got meat in there, meat and rice. If you use meat and rice, definitely freeze your meals if you've got more than a day's worth.